starting a service business. So arguably, starting a service business is probably the easier, well, it is, right? Easier than manufacturing business. There's basically, you figure out something that you can do that other people aren't willing to do or can't do, and they pay you money for it, right? So what we're going to do in the next 15 minutes is I'm going to talk to you about how you can go from idea to launch in 4 weeks. This is tried and tested, and in the last 7 months, I've had 55 Mizzou students actually do this, so I know that it works. For those of you who might be pessimistic about how you can go through this. So week 1, I'm going to go through each of the weeks. Week 1 is called Start with 1. Then in the second week, turn a profit from $1. Week 3, fall out of love with your idea. And week 4, become the pig. All right, so hopefully that's got your attention and you've not decided to leave the room because you want to know about becoming the pig. So week 1, right? The focus is on the brainstorming process, and everybody has ideas for businesses. Most of us have plenty. My husband's always having ideas that he thinks he's invented something, and then he looks it up and oh no, it's already been invented. But loads of people have ideas for businesses, but they never do anything about it. And so a lot of the stuff in the first 4 weeks is actually about getting over your fear. To just taking action, getting started. We tend to think that our idea's got to be perfect. We make up all these excuses. We think that we have to enroll in a class and all these kinds of things. I tell you what, when I started my business, I hadn't even graduated high school. Still haven't graduated high school, but here I am, Dr. Kendall. I know Mizzou hands them out to everybody these days. So, you know, the best way to learn is by doing. Just get started. So here's the thing, write down 100 ideas because guaranteed your first idea is probably rubbish, okay? And you go for quantity, not quality. If you write down 100 ideas, there's probably gonna be one good idea in that 100. You write down 5 ideas, they might not be very good. So you have to force yourself to think of 100 ideas that you could do for a service business. And your last 10 are going to be probably fairly innovative and imaginative. You go through, rank the top 3, sketch out the top 3. So science tells us, so we do this thing where we think that we have to think about things and then we sketch it out. But actually the process of sketching helps your brain think through an idea or think through a problem. So try to start with sketching out an idea. And as I said, I have my students do this, works really well. They're always quite surprised. Select your top idea. This is the one you're gonna go with, right? It's not the one you're gonna end up with, but it's the one you're gonna go with. Now here, this is why I've got this in bold. What problem does your idea solve? Right? People don't pay you for services or products. They pay you to solve a problem that they have. If you solve a problem that they have, they will give you their money, right? So many starting entrepreneurs start out with this idea for a service or product and they're completely in love with it and they think, if this is so great, everybody's gonna buy it. And their whole approach is to talk people into buying it. Their whole, the focus is on convincing people that this product or service is really great. But if you focus on the customer and put yourself in their shoes and say, what problems do they have that I could solve? Then all you need to do is say, hey, do you have this problem? Yes, I actually do. How are you solving it? Well, actually, I'm just cobbling together this kind of solution at the moment. It doesn't really work. I have something that would solve that problem, right? So come from the customer's point of view rather than your point of view. Is it feasible? What's missing? What resources do you need that you don't have? And then seek feedback from a diverse set of people. Don't go to your mum. Your mum's going to tell you it's great. It's probably so is your partner and your friends. My partner wouldn't. My partner's I call him a no man. He goes straight to no, right? But you love those people. You want those people around you. But seek feedback from a diverse set of people, people who don't look like you or think like you, people who have different backgrounds, experiences, obviously people that are going to be potential customers. Decide whether to move forward or pick another idea. So there's week one, just coming up with an idea. And you start with solving a problem. This is Maggie doing, so this is a terrible graphic. That's pixelated, but it's a 23-year-old girl that she raises 200 orphans. I can't remember the country. My goodness, I'm sorry. But she said she just wanted to help one child. And now she has 200 orphans and she has this thing set up. You think about, I want to solve a problem for one person, right? Even Mother Teresa said, if she ever thought about all the problems in the world of everyone had that she had to solve, she would never have done anything because it's too overwhelming. So you just think, I just want to solve a problem for this one person. I'm going to start with one, then I'm going to go to two, then they recommend me to a third person, right? So just kind of, that helps with not becoming overwhelmed by it. Inspiration. So some of you, those of you lucky enough to have ADHD, you are incredibly good brainstormers. Also, we know people with ADHD are very good entrepreneurs. You have superpowers that make you characteristics that you might have been told were weaknesses, actually superpowers in entrepreneurship. If you want to know more about that, you can Google it, ADHD and entrepreneurship, or neurodiversity and entrepreneurship. Also, if you're a little bit on the edge, on the fringes, you don't really fit in with people. Maybe you always have different ideas. A disregard for conventional wisdom and norms is good as well, right? Because you're wanting to start something that's innovative and different. You don't want to do the same thing as everybody else. Otherwise, you're competing with everyone else. Your service business has to have a little bit of a quirk or a differentiation in it. So, you know, people who are on the fringes who, if you take your idea to people and people say, oh, I don't know how that's going to work, it doesn't matter too much, right? Yeah, I'm not going to exhaust that point. Connecting ideas is better than protecting ideas, right? So share your ideas with people. This is another top mistake that beginning, aspiring entrepreneurs make. They think, oh, if I tell anyone my idea, they'll steal it. They're not going to steal it. Number one, why? Because starting a business is flipping hard, right? So, and it's not, if they do try to do it, it's not the way you would do it. They're not you. Connecting ideas, talking to as many people as you can about your ideas is way better than protecting it. When you're going through that ideation process, a couple of things. Think about where you are when you are thinking about your business idea. So we know from science that if you have a view of nature, you can think more creatively. The color green apparently helps you think more creatively. Also, cook, walk, or shower. You know how we have those aha moments when we're in the shower, or as we're going to sleep, or as we're walking along thinking about any number of other things. What's happening is your brain is getting a chance to kind of file everything away, and then it just starts shooting off neurons to try and make connections in your brain. Some of them are random and stupid, but now and then there's one that's like, aha, that's the thing. Why didn't I think of that? That's so obvious. So that's really important. The cook, walk, or shower. I call it procrastinating is a term I have when I don't want to do something, procrastinating. Week two, right? You've got your idea, but you're just going to park that for a moment. Week two, you're going to turn a profit from $1. And what this week is about is you're going to firsthand experience the opportunities and challenges in getting people to actually buy. Because a lot of people would say they would hypothetically buy your product, but getting them to actually buy, completely different matter. So you set this challenge for yourself. You say, all right, I've got $1. I've got to turn this into a profit. Try and think of some creative way of doing it. It doesn't have to be related to your business idea. Spend at least 5 hours. I get my students to spend at least 5 hours trying to do this. You can spend a whole day if you want to. Record, write down what you did, who'd you try to sell it to, when, where, what was going on in an external environment, what might have impacted your efforts, right? Were you successful or not? How successful were you at trying to turn a profit from $1? COVID obviously impacted, will impact your efforts, potentially, here. And then reflect, ask yourself, why? Why did you approach this task the way that you did? Why did you approach the people that you asked to buy your services the way that you did? What was it like? There is a lot of learning to be gotten from this, this experience, right? It sounds a bit, you know, what's the word? Twee, is that the right word? Sounds a bit like, I'm not doing that. That sounds dumb. But there is a valuable experience to learn from doing, right? Here's a quote from a student from last semester that this is what they learned from that assignment. You don't need initial capital to start your idea, right? Where there's a will, there's a way. Because many people say, oh, if only I had $1 million, I could start my business. $1 million and a dumb idea is lost $1 million. $1 and a great idea is a moneymaker, right? So that experience is supposed to show you that actually, yeah, you can turn a profit from $1. A good resource for that week, that second week, seek rejection. So to approach it from, okay, I am going to experience getting rejected for 5 days of the week, right? This guy here has a great TED Talk and a book, What I Learned from 100 Days of Rejection. I highly recommend checking that out. And this is what another student said, that this is what the key learning. Learn to accept and become desensitized to rejection. Because if you want to be an entrepreneur, rejection is part of everyday life, for sure, right? Week 3. Week 3 is about falling out of love with your idea. And go back to your idea now and try and understand. What you want to do is understand the problem that your customer has and make sure, firstly, make sure that it is a problem and make sure that your service is going to solve that problem for them. So outline your assumptions. First of all, this is what I assume. Conduct some interviews with potential customers. Don't sell it to anything to them. You're not, the purpose isn't trying to sell. What you want to find out is, why does that, firstly, do they have this problem? Why does it exist? What's causing it? And what did they imagine the solution to be, right? From those interviews, you analyze and rank the findings. What are the top 3 key findings that seem to be common? Compare the findings with your assumptions, right? And be prepared for people to say, yeah, that's not a problem, right? So you might have to go back to the drawing board, seek feedback, go to some other people again. You want more, and Amos talked about all those different resources we have in the ecosystem. Reach out to people to help you improve and reimagine your idea based on what you found out. And the whole purpose is you got to fall out of love with your idea, right? Don't, otherwise you're just going to push something on the market that people don't want. Conducting the interviews. Be open to people who correct your assumptions, right? It hurts. It hurts like it hurts. I compare it to, you know, you're telling a newborn a mum of a newborn baby that her baby's ugly. It hurts. And my students, 55 students, will tell you this. Like, you have to suck it up, and the experience of having people sitting there telling you that your idea isn't the bee's knees is an interesting experience. Ask open-ended questions and actively listen. Most of the time we're listening with something in our head going, as soon as this person shuts up, I'm going to say this, right? So actually stop that and actively listen. Another student, some of my biggest developments have come from criticism I received when sharing my idea. Initially, this can seem embarrassing to have someone not like your idea. Yeah, full on. But taking that advice and fixing your plan is actually really helpful. And 55 students will, if I had them here tonight, they would tell you the criticism part is the most essential part, right? Week 4, become the pig. So this week is face your fear of rejection and get her done, right? I've become Missouri. I'm from New Zealand, as you can tell. My accent is not from Arkansas, as many people think. But, you know, that Missourian, that was, is it Midwest? Get her done. Week 1, so you've gone through these interviews. Clarify your value proposition, which is how are you going to solve your customer's problem? Make sure you understand the problem your customer has. That interview experience in the previous week can open your eyes up to other problems that you didn't even realize. So all of a sudden you may have gone from, oh, I thought I was just doing X, but actually I can do X and Y. Be clear about who your customer is. Your customer isn't everybody, right? So be clear. It's middle-aged women with an annual income of between $50,000 and $70,000 a year who live alone or whatever, right? Or pet owners, or, you know, people with no time or something. Figure out what are the best ways to reach them. Where do they hang out? Do they spend time on social media? You know, are they the Instagram generation, or are they like, you know, all the old people are on Facebook now? Are they young people, which means you're going to have to go across to TikTok. You know, young people will start something and then all of us old people join and they're like, this isn't cool anymore, and they leave, go to the next thing. So where do they hang out? Is it better to actually go to mums groups on the internet? Maybe hard to go in person at the moment. And then this is what I set, the challenge, make 10 marketing attempts. And what you will find is that marketing is harder than you think it is. Why? Because you put your little self out there in your business and you get no likes, or maybe you get 1 like and it's your mom. Like, it's hard, right? You got to keep going and don't give up. Like, nobody goes to 1 million. Well, some people, only, you know, you're going viral, but analyze who, what, when, where, why, what works, what doesn't, right? It might be surprising. There's resources, again, I would encourage you to Google the customer empathy map. This is how you can put yourself in the customer's shoes and understand them, and you can learn a lot more about how to do that. And then ask yourself, are you dedicated or committed? So a chicken and a pig start a business together, right? The chicken supplies the eggs, the pig supplies the bacon. If the chicken says, nah, this isn't for me, I want out, they can walk away because they just supplied the eggs. The pig can't, because he's now bacon, right? The pig is committed. He can't walk away. So become the pig. So quickly, week 1, man, that was fast. Start with 1. Solve a problem, 1 idea out of 100, solve a problem for 1 person. Week 2, make a profit from $1. Find out how hard it is to actually get people to buy. What can you learn from that? Week 3, fall out of love with your idea. Get potential people to tell you whether it's on point or not. And week 4, become the pig. This is think about a problem you can solve for someone. That's the most important thing. That's what the students say. I would also recommend a final resource. There's a little book called How to Start a Business and Ignite Your Life. I haven't talked about any of the content here tonight, but it is super good. And this is the book that I would consistently give to aspiring entrepreneurs. You can get it on Amazon. I don't even think it costs very much. And thank you.